goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Laine Woolscroft. Are you snacking over there?
Oh, you guys picking us up? Sorry. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I'll be trying to be quieter.
You're kind of a dick right now.
You know, some people may be into this.
Yeah, I mean, they might be. So, we're on episode 61. Hope you all had a happy 4th. And John's chewing some tortilla chips over there.
No.
Yeah, huh? And we're going to be talking about a very special movie, right?
Dear to our hearts now, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you could say that.
This one's another gem. Like, you're probably wondering, hey, guys. And first off, there's a woman here, too. So, you know, let's be correct.
The colloquial guys is okay with me.
Yeah.
I'm not offended. Yet.
Hey, them. Why are you guys doing two pantheons of utter shit 2 weeks in a row? First off, back the fuck up. Secondly, it was a holiday, so we had to do
We never said that
offering.
Uncle Sam was Pantheon. We never
No,
said
we
that.
never said that. We just said that was
and
a
what in God's name did us fall under, guys?
holiday special.
holiday special.
Holiday special.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and then this is our pantheon. Giving us this movie was told to us from a special friend here.
Yeah, and
we'll get into that, but
Yeah.
so that's why we're doing two bad movies 2 weeks in a row here.
So the movie has Dead Heat this week. Yes.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Fucking Dead Heat.
Most of you probably have not heard of Dead Heat.
I had never heard of this movie.
It has
Seriously.
Vincent Price and Joe Piscopo in the same movie, so that should tell you something about it.
You're welcome, is what we're going to say.
Yeah. But I really think we should let our special guest from a couple episodes ago kind of tip us off and why we're watching this movie.
Very special introduction from a friend of the show.
Take it away, Len.
Yeah, this is Len Kabasinski, and I kind of recommended Dead Heat to the show here, basically because for me it was so influential because what is it? You know what I mean? Is it an action film? Is it a horror movie? Is it a comedy? It had, to me, Dead Heat has everything, and the cast is amazing. You have one of Vincent Price's last films. Key Luke is like 120 years old, it looks like, in the movie. Joe Piscopo, at his most ripped, is in the movie. You had Treat Williams, who was just coming off of Prince of the City. That he really should have probably been a bigger actor than what he was. And I know he's had a career forever, but Treat Williams is really good. And Dead Heat, I think, has a bit of everything, and that's why I like it. I've got a lot of fond memories. I've probably seen the movie 10 different times. I mean, I think I wanted to suggest it, and that's something like I point out on my video den that I do through my Patreon, but it's like these are the types of things I'm picking, and when John had asked me to come on the Cinema Psycho show here, the first thing I thought was, I'm going to give him a couple movies like King of the Kickboxers or Dead Heat or Martial Outlaw or something like that maybe people don't quite know about. And Dead Heat was just about the first thing that came to my mind, especially when people go to interview me or talk to me. Why is Len so fucked up at times? That's because I like movies like Dead Heat.
Well, I think that sums it up pretty much. I think we can actually end the show now. So if you have an idea for a movie you want us to talk... Oh, no, sorry. Okay, we should maybe actually break this down,
Yeah,
too.
probably.
Because that was pretty, on the nose. It was a lot of things I'm sorry, Len. I'm probably going to steal a lot of your points because I thought some of the same stuff. But, yeah.
These chips are really good.
Hey, the bit's over.
I was bringing it back.
So quit eating during our podcast. You gotta... People are going to think you don't care.
I got hangry. No, I'm just kidding. I was just
62
doing
episodes in, that's when Lane stopped caring.
I was just
right.
doing a thing.
61.
God.
61, excuse me.
You're not my
Yeah.
real dad.
Well, I age a year every episode, so now I'm kind of senile. Len brought up the best point. What the hell is this movie? Is it
Well,
horror comedy?
Here's
Yeah,
what
genre bender.
Here's what I saw it as, okay? Because first of all, I didn't know what the fuck I was watching.
It's a hot, sexy
Okay,
genre
but
bender.
the way I envisioned this was a bunch of studio execs were sitting down one day, and one guy came up and said, "Hey, I got an idea for a buddy cop movie that no one's ever seen before. Imagine if we took Lethal Weapon and combined it with zombies."
And made it shitty.
Okay, and we got Vincent Price in it and Joe Piscopo, because he's kind of cool, right?
The poor man's Mel Gibson, I guess.
Yeah. But
Well, what is it that Lynn says? Joe Piscopo at his most ripped. Like, he is not wrong. Like, Piscopo has tickets to the gun show.
the man's flexing in every scene.
Full tickets to the gun show.
Len, of course, noticed like how jacked he is. All I can think is this is Piscopo's most Piscopoian. Like, he is just chewing the scenery.
And it's giant butt chin.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And curly mullet,
Yes.
which is valid lifestyle-wise.
Which is foul lifestyle.
But see, Brian, I think this is just one of those just muddled messes where some guy came in, they said, write a cop movie. They looked at it and said, oh crap, this is just Lethal Weapon. Oh, and they said, well, here's what you need to do. We got this spec script about zombies, and your script's too much like Lethal Weapon. Just put them together. Huh? Well, okay. And so they just mash these into the, Lethal Weapon meets Night of the Living Dead.
That's what I'm saying.
Then,
like they just mashed them.
But it's
then
like
they were like-
science-y. It's like sci-fi, you know?
And they're like, you know what? We need to throw some jokes in. Make this a jokey picture.
A jokey picture.
So then it's a comedy horror buddy cop action movie.
Nothing like the existential experience of knowing when you're going to die to really bring the comedy out.
12 hours.
Yeah. 12 hours.
Exactly.
And he's
It's not even like a good death. It is rotting and turning to goo.
It's true. Have we mentioned that Treat Williams is in it?
Well, we haven't even really talked about what the synopsis is. Yeah. Okay, John, do you want to give us a synopsis since you kind of unleashed this on us again?
Shall I? Okay.
Well, I mean, Len did, but he told you, and then you told us.
It's that's how a disease starts.
It
right?
is.
Yeah, so we're introduced to our two cop leads here. Treat Williams, who's a little more the straight-laced one, but is still not. And then Joe Piscopo, who is just a wild man, but not. They're both kind of the same character.
They're kind of vanilla.
Yeah.
Like they're like they go extreme, but they're not really extreme. You know what I mean?
And they have to go and try to deal with a bank robbery, and the bank robbers cannot be killed. Like, they're shooting them, and they're like, and of course it's riddled with those like, why can't we do this the easy way? You know?
I guess there's just the hard way.
Yeah. And they're trying to kill him, and then Treat Williams decides, I'm going to jack a car and just run these motherfuckers over.
Because that's
Because as
that's
cops
good.
do, right?
That's good.
And that takes him out, and which of course leads to the something I've never seen before in movies, and that's when the chief chews out these renegade cops. I mean, like, how do they come up with this originality? I have no idea.
Where do they come up with this stuff?
Look, your wild actions, if you're shoot first, ask questions later, there's no place in this department. $1,000 done damage to the bank, $2,000 damage to the car. This is gonna come out of your ass. Look, you want our badge? I want it on this table more than I can say, but god damn it, do you guys get results?
You want to know something funny? That was Mel Stewart. Mel Stewart, animator.
But there are these renegade cops that play by their own rules. They start talking to the coroner, which is the first person that Piscopo is creepy as shit up to, right?
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, you don't know who's the love interest for who.
No, you
both
don't.
Dudes are, like, real slimy and, like, made my skin crawl at every turn. So, like, but there was, like, no sexiness to it. It was just straight up uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, I kind of figured, through the whole movie, you're like, well, Treat Williams is kind of going for the dead chick, and then he's going for the other dead chick because she works with dead people. It's
Meh.
whole movie's a mess. Whole movie's a fucking mess. And plus, let me get this across first.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, Treat Williams in a movie called Dead Heat. His name is Detective Mortis.
Roger Mortis. Roger Mortis instead of
Roger
Rigor Mortis.
Yes.
He is Roger Mortis. It is the greatest thing of all time. This, I would like to be plain. This movie brings the joy. Like, this is the good kind of bad where, like, it utterly failed, but you're so fucking happy.
I'm surprised the movie just didn't name him Rigor. Probably because it's a little too close to where
Detective Rigor Mortis.
You know, people might hear, wait, what did they say? No, Rigor.
Oh, John, you made that
you
dark.
were thinking that.
You made that wildly
That could so
dark.
easily be misheard, you know. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't
They
just
didn't
go
do
that
the
route.
actual, the actual pun, but I mean, they got as close as they could, for
So
God's sake.
the coroner tells them this guy was already dead. And this is where a nice little shot comes in. The Night Stalker is in this movie.
Darren McGavin.
Yeah, Darren McGavin.
Yep.
Head of Madison Hotels. Come into this movie.
This was his job before Madison Hotel.
And he's like, nonsense. Dead people don't come back from, the dead. You're just on your period. You're being,
Oh, yes, you're doing lady things.
You're
and
being hysterical.
You're being hysterical. Yes, exactly. And one, because he's basically like the head, medical examiner?
I guess.
Like, that's what I guess. I mean, I figured he was, because he's Dr. McNabb. That's his name. Okay? And he's like the most wealthiest medical examiner I've ever seen. He's driving around in Porsches and shit like that. He's always walking around in really nice suits for 80s,
See, with the guy, his last name being Mortis, I really expected Darren McGavin's name to be like Dan Bad Guy.
Dan Bad Guy.
Like, hi, my name's Ima. I'm a bad guy.
Oh, God.
And then, through the movie here, they start to investigate this facility where...
because of the chemicals that they found.
Yes.
And they found the chemicals were at this place called Dante Labs, which is also known as the Biodome. Did you catch that one?
Mm-hmm. Which is, not as good as the Biodome with Pauly Shore and
No,
Stephen
but
Baldwin.
it's like the building's the Biodome.
Oh.
Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, that's the same fucking building.
That's amazing.
Oh, reuse,
I mean, apparently, before it was the Biodome, it was also the site of a zombie-making factory.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the same thing if you really don't think about it. So, yeah, they're getting the tour from the HR lady, giving Piscopo another chance to be kind of word rapey.
He's just flexing. Yeah. Like, every scene that he's in this movie, especially with the sequence with the woman, he's just like,
He's like
flexing.
a walking bicep.
He's like, yeah, look at me.
Yeah. And it's so weird because if you watch Joe Piscopo on SNL, he's kind of a scrawny guy, but apparently somewhere along the way, he just got really into bodybuilding. And I think he owns a gym now. That's what he does.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he picks like film roles every 5 years or something like that, but he just mostly owns his gym and is jacked as shit. But
yeah, he's catching, residuals off of the movie Sidekicks.
in this place admits we like kill puppies to make sure that like stuff that goes to market doesn't hurt people.
Yeah.
And
Which is so fucked up.
yeah. And they're just like, the two cops are not bothered by this at all. I also
Can't
forgot
have any of that poison lipstick out there.
when they first get there,
Joker brand.
Yes.
love that Joker.
Love that Joker.
That golden tan, those ruby lips, and hair so natural, only your Undertaker knows for sure. And I know what you're thinking. Where can I get these wonderful new products?
Fine new product.
Buy new products. Well, that's the gag. Chances are you bought them already. Love that Joker.
You guys are such fucking nerds.
Yeah.
Well, since we have a break really quick, since you guys came up for air, something I wanted to say is that this was directed by Mark Goldblatt, which he has like some badass credits as an editor. He edited both Terminator movies. He edited the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Hey-o.
But I mean,
Well, that was after this movie, so.
But I mean,
Cinema Goes reviewed.
he has some decent creds, and I mean, he's won awards. Like he didn't win the Academy Award, but he was nominated for Terminator 2, and he won a Saturn Award for Piranha, and one for X-Men: The Last Stand.
Well,
we don't have an incompetent buffoon at the helm, but just this movie doesn't make any sense.
Well, I feel that like when you want to do something else in the industry story unless you're Drew Barrymore. You have to like take like a shitty thing at first to like earn your stripes. Unlike Drew Barrymore, who's just handed movies like, now you're a director.
It's just interesting to me that like he directed this, and and it was a bit of a storytelling failure. When the guy obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to telling a story. I mean, the Terminator movies are very, very well thought out.
Well, he knows how to edit a good story.
Yeah.
You can only edit crap so much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Terry Black is the real villain here for writing the screenplay.
Other thing to note, this movie features the makeup effects of Steve Johnson.
Yeah,
Steve
that's right.
Johnson, one of the most well-known FX artists in the industry, worked on this film. Which, I mean, I always felt that was one of the best things going for it.
Right.
That's a smart move. Like, you better, if it's going to be zombie effects, you better hedge your bets and get, like, the best.
Oh, yeah. Like, 80s Steve Johnson, I mean, he was doing crazy effects. Like, he worked on, Night of the Demons and Blade 2 eventually, did The Stand, he did Pet Sematary 2. Like, he's done, like, all the really good horror films.
Interesting.
Well, Brian, I know you were probably pissed that it wasn't your good friend Tom Savini.
We don't need to talk about that fucker.
My God.
All right, we don't have to talk about your best friend.
Why are you bringing
John,
him up?
why do you have to poke?
Why do you do that?
do you have
Every
to poke
fucking
him?
time.
God, you're the worst. Keep going with the synopsis of the movie.
Yeah, so apparently there is a decompression chamber that we get introduced to.
That's how they kill the doggies.
Yeah, that's how they killed the dog.
It's supposed to humanely kill the failed test animal subject.
Yes,
but
because
Like the sexy
asphyxiation.
dolls with makeup.
Fucking
Asphyxiation is really
made me so
the
mad.
best way to kill people.
animal testing pisses me
Yeah.
off so bad.
There's no pain in asphyxiation.
And they're kind of like, the woman's like, this will pay off later, during her tour. And Treat gets stuck into that chamber and suffocates and dies while they're doing a shootout because, they... Old Piscopo uses his, like, lanyard in the thing that's supposed to keep the door locked and, like, breaks in and sees what's going on. And
Yeah,
so
and
they
they-
start shooting at him. Like,
Yeah.
makes no sense. But, so it causes a shootout there, and Treat Williams dies, and Piscopo is, like, all moody. And
Moody.
the
well,
coroner-
the important thing to note is that you don't know who killed Treat.
Yeah.
It's just like they pull a Police Academy. What was it, like 6? Where it's like just the gloves as the villain.
I think that one is 6.
Is
by
it
the way.
6?
Yeah. I think you're exactly right, because I've seen all
we're-
8.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's just the gloves that pull down a lever, and he suddenly gets the air sucked out of him.
Which was the Soviet Union? Was that 7?
I think that was 7.
Yeah.
Mission to Moscow.
Oh, Police Academy. Yeah, Gutenberg would have been... I bet he was the backup choice to Piscopo. Piscopo turned it down. But, yeah, so the coroner shows up and is like, hey, guys, good news. I read the script, so I know that this machine will bring him back to life.
Well, don't they figure it out on the fly?
They do. They're just, like, turning
makes no
knobs
sense.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's how bringing someone back from the dead works.
Of course.
You just play with a bunch of buttons and knobs and shit.
Yeah, and then Treat Williams comes back to life, and he's like, I feel fucking great.
Well,
Never been better.
Here's my thing about that. No one is, like, surprised or shocked or fainting because there's a person who was dead who's now brought back to life. Like, and he was dead for an hour. So it's like, what? You see a guy walking around, like, you wouldn't be going, what the fuck? Like, just losing your shit?
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
But, like, what's weird is, like, so she's, like, the coroner, so Rebecca's supposed to know all these things.
Yeah.
But, like, he has no heartbeat. He's cold. And she's like, yeah, you probably have about 12 hours before, like, you just turn to goo. Like, how did she come to that conclusion?
She read the script.
She read the script.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think it was crazy. And then of course, like, Treat Williams' character is like, you know what I'm going to do with that 12 hours? I'm going to exact revenge.
I'm going to find out who killed me.
Meanwhile, like, I don't know. He should be, like, doing all of his dream things he can. Like, go have lobster dinner, go bang some hookers, like, do something that
I
would make
mean,
you happy. Like,
You literally know that death has no hold over you now.
yeah. Put it
So-
all on your credit card. You don't have to pay the fucking thing.
You'd be like, you know what? Fuck him. I won't be around in 12 hours.
Take
And just-
out more student loans.
Yeah, and just ask Joe Piscopo to, like, avenge your death. Like, because
Well,
he's
here-
a cop, too.
Here's the thing. You know that death has no rules. You could do every horrible thing that's now in your head.
So
Oh,
true.
kind of like Kevin Bacon in Hollow Man?
Yeah. Death has no hold over me.
Yeah, so and it turns into a just a spy movie where they're trying to not spy movie, but detective movie where they're trying to figure out like who done it and why.
But it's got like the most bizarre things. Like every single time they're fighting against zombie thugs. Did you notice that one?
Yeah.
The thugs are zombies, and they're like the most they're weirdo zombies, like complete with like the weird brow and everything, and they're just shooting them. I'm like, you're fucking zombies. Why don't you just like try to eat them or something?
Yeah.
Made no sense.
Well, and then they're shooting back. She's like, yeah, remember the good old days when bullets killed somebody?
Yeah.
Well, this is where it gets like confusing as shit because like there's
This is where?
there's Randy who's like the PR person for the like Laudermilk facility.
It's the Dante's lab.
Yeah, so she's like the PR person, and then we have Rebecca who's the the coroner, and then
Look exactly the same.
They do.
and like they go to Randy's house. And she reveals that she's not, that she's actually like the daughter of the Vincent Price character.
Yes.
Yeah, and Vincent Price is the founder of this like rejuvenation machine.
Yeah.
That brings people back.
He's
from the dead.
he's the one behind it. Yeah.
Vincent Price and his
And then,
Price.
and then
one
they
of
go,
his most Vincent Priceian roles.
and then they go back to see Rebecca, who thinks that she may have a way to like keep Roger alive indefinitely. But then it's like, no, just kidding. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna go like with this whole revenge thing.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like,
Yeah.
And then almost immediately after, we see Randy again, and she's like, JK, I'm not actually his daughter. I'm just like his protege.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then-
His ball washer.
his
And then this is the most baffling part, I think, because when they get back to Randy's home, they find Piscopo dead, like drowned in her fish tank, like hanging upside down from the ceiling with his head just in the fish tank.
Yes.
And I don't.
Well, what had happened was they basically had a series of, we're going to go to this place because, again, the script told us it has to go to this place. And we're going to meet up with you later. And they meet up with him later and find that he's dead.
But like they don't. I mean, they don't show his death.
No,
like,
they don't.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense.
No money.
It just.
Listen. We wasted all of our budget on lightning effects and zombie makeup.
What the hell do they spend the $5 million
Vincent
on?
Price.
Yeah, that's true.
Vincent Price.
But,
and
like-
Darren McGavin. He needed money.
So then, okay, so like
He had
it
some
doesn't.
gambling
but
debts,
because he's
yeah.
like bloated and drowned, it doesn't even look like Piscopo at first. Because
No,
when
it doesn't.
John and I were watching this, John was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "That's Doug." I was like, "That's Piscopo."
That's
And he's
exactly
like,
what I said, too.
Yeah.
Because
So
I was
then-
like, what? Who's that? Oh, it's Piscopo. He's dead now, too.
And then it turns out that Randy is also undead, and she just like takes a shower and then just turns into Gak. I don't fucking get it.
I thought
Like,
that was awesome.
I mean,
I
the
loved
effects
it.
were killer. Don't get me wrong. Like it was very
It made no
upsetting.
sense.
It made no sense, but you know what? We needed to see that because it's going to tell us, hey, treats going that way, too.
Yeah, because she was one of Laudermilk's like first test subjects, I guess.
Yeah.
Like she was like undead the longest. But it's weird, like you go from like 0 to like instant coffee. Like
we
you
are
just
missing
dissolve.
by far what I think is one of the best fucking scenes in movie history here. Okay?
I'm listening.
And I'm talking, of course, about the fact that Random Task is in this movie, too. Okay? From Austin Powers.
That's right.
And that he is part of a scene in which Chinese food comes to life and attacks Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo.
That's right. Oh my god.
Oh yes, and
Did you forget that
How
one?
could we
I
have
think you
missed
forgot
this?
that
Oh
one.
my God.
How could you
we
forget that?
ever? Yeah.
I humbly apologize.
So, yeah, somewhere along the path of we're trying to find a whodunit of all this, they end up at this Chinese restaurant, and apparently there's a miniature version of the, like, Frankenstein machine up in the basically the chandelier of this Chinese restaurant. Yeah. And I guess the partner is he's a partner of Vincent Price's character. You find that out later.
Yeah, it's super racist.
it's really
like,
racist.
Openly racist. Like 80s racist.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up.
But to
I
cause
couldn't believe it, actually.
to cause a distraction, this guy basically turns on the Frankenstein machine in a kitchen full of Chinese food. Like, we're talking ducks hanging upside down with
With
their
no
heads
heads.
cut off, you know,
Yeah.
and we're talking, like livers attack this guy, you know?
It's absolutely
It's
bonkers.
ridiculous.
It's just lightning.
Apparently, if you're skinned, have most of your organs taken out, and no head, you could still come back to life with
Yeah.
this machine?
I mean, even if your tissue's been cooked, it can be reanimated,
Well,
apparently.
I don't think they're running off of Romero rules. I think they're running off of
Dead Heat rules.
No, Return of the Living Dead rules.
All right.
Yes.
You know, but
You're right, though, Brian. It is actually the most glorious moment of
the best part of it is when the cow carcass tries to eat.
Or, like, mate with? Jury's out.
I think it's trying to eat him. But yeah, the cow carcass tries to eat Treat Williams.
It's really, you'll
I
never
had to write
look
this
at,
down because I was like,
You'll never
did I
look at
fucking
food
see that?
the same way again. Like, you'll kind of regret your birth.
After watching enough close-ups to Joe Piscopo, I'll never look at food the same way again.
No.
I'm from Jersey.
Yeah.
But so eventually, to kind of a long story short, he finds that Vincent Price is not dead, which we are led to.
Yeah, that was like the one at the end.
And he has a bunch of like billionaires coming to him, and he's saying that if you give me half your fortunes, you can live forever using this machine. You know, just
they're basically the Republican Party.
We
of the 80s.
we figured out that like it's the head coroner that's the black hat. You know, like Dr. McNabb is like the bad guy.
Yes.
We figured that out, and he's played by the old man from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, we said that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just excited. So excited.
Yeah, Dr. Bad Guy turns out to be villainous.
Big shocker there.
Yeah.
And it was him that actually, pulled the levers
Yeah.
to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Treat Williams like shows up and he's like all badass because he's really, really now understanding that nothing can hurt him. So guys like shooting him and he's just like without even looking, barreling them down with machine guns.
He gives zero fucks.
Well, prior to this, he actually was in an ambulance that he purposely crashed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Purposely crashed an ambulance.
Well, he had to get out of it because they were locked. He and Rebecca were locked inside. Well, I guess it was Rebecca's body. Cause
she's dead. Yeah, she's
That
dead.
was weird because we didn't see her get killed.
All the
either.
main characters die or either come back as
but, like,
zombies.
we don't see it though. It's so weird. It's hard to like remember.
So yeah, he's killing all of them, and then they say, "Well, hold on, the person that we were going to be doing the test on." What a twist! It's Piscopo.
And his head's like not bloated anymore, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah. And he's also, they fucked up with his brain somehow.
He's been dead long enough that they can like control him completely.
He's like brain dead apparently.
Yeah, and they're like, kill Treat Williams.
But Roger manages to like remind him of one thing that they talked about that day and like completely brings him back to normal.
Hey, Roger, if we were gonna die, would we have like a death party where we have all the friends over and get laid and do jello shots and party have a slip and slide?
And he's got him by the neck. He's like, remember this slip and slide? Remember the jello shots? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm okay again.
It literally takes 5 seconds for him to come back, apparently.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
And they
God,
both
it's
turn
terrible.
on, Vincent Price and
Vincent Price is like, I'll make you immortal.
that Mr. Old Man and Dr. Bad Guy get what's coming to them. And they offer him, like, hey, look, we can let you live forever. And they, like, take the moral high ground. They're like, nah, everyone's supposed to die. Kill him and blow up his machine.
They fuck McNabb up. It's amazing.
And then he's like, hey, Raj, what do you think that's going to be like? And he's like, I don't know, but I'm sure glad that we're going to spend eternity together as hetero life mates. Yeah, because we're not gay. Yeah, I don't know why we had to point that out.
Dude,
Yeah.
you forget that Piscopo says he wants to be reincarnated as a girl's bike seat.
Yes. You're
That's
absolutely
literally
correct.
what he says. It's the most fucking
Yes.
appalling thing of all time.
He wants to spend a lot of time as a sweaty queef. Like
He
Bear.
really does.
And then Roger says the thing. He says this could be the end of a beautiful friendship. He
That's
like
so
turned it on its
stupid.
head because it's so clever,
It's so fucking
so
stupid.
good.
Yeah, I
Loved
Oh.
it.
No.
The bike seat thing was so fucking.
And so, yeah, possibly the greatest advancement in science was destroyed by two gun-wielding zombie jerk-offs who are like,
Seriously.
nobody should have this much power.
Well, let me ask you a question.
No.
Okay. What do you think it would take to make a good buddy cop zombie movie?
Not making it.
a different writer. I mean, I think that the inherent problems were just like these deaths occurred without us really like seeing it happen.
Yeah.
It just seemed like there were a bunch of scenes from other movies that just got mashed into one script. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the idea of it was terrible, but the parts of it that were incoherent, kind of like were what really derailed the plot and made it as ridiculous as it was. But like I said, it brings the joy. And I thank you, Len, for this recommendation because, you know, we always say, like, okay, avoid it if it was bad. No, this is fucking awesome. Like, you guys should definitely watch it, dear listeners. It's amazing.
Wait, a good buddy cop zombie movie. Isn't that just iZombie, the TV show?
I actually do watch that show.
I love iZombie. I haven't seen the
I do
finale
too.
yet. Don't say anything.
I haven't seen it. We're a couple weeks behind.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, there you go. Maybe it's, you know.
But that's not, I don't really consider that a buddy cop.
No, it doesn't
Zombie.
fall into that Lethal Weapon.
Because she's
you
the
know.
coroner.
She's the coroner. I mean, for me, I think it has to do with really fleshing the characters out.
Or even just
I
seeing
mean,
when they die.
I get that this was at a time when, you know, zombies were kind of not really a thing at that time. I mean, you had like Day of the Dead and all that stuff, but it wasn't really nearly as prevalent as it is now with Walking Dead.
Right.
But,
And iZombie.
You know, and iZombie, but, you know, really with slashers. But I guess for me, I think there's no excuse for not trying to flesh out the characters a bit more, you know?
Oh yeah,
That's the biggest problem, I think.
Like sleazy joke machines, and I think they're supposed to be cool. We're supposed to think they're really cool when they're like really like dorky, unrelatable weirdos.
They're just shitty and like misogynistic.
They really are.
Yeah, I mean, but it does cover a lot of different genres though, because it's very action based. It's very science fiction-y. And, like, the horror element is definitely there. Because some of the makeup, I think, like, if you saw it as a kid, it'd be frightening.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they made sure to not skimp on that. Because they knew, oh, we're doing a, you know, horror movie. We really have to do a lot of the makeup. Because that's what they did back in the 80s.
Yeah, of course.
It was all practical shit. Which still holds up, in my opinion. Like, I watched that, I was like, holy shit. Like, the scene, especially where What's-Her-Face turns to the Jell-O. You know, and they have her, and then you slowly see her face on one side just start to slump.
It's horrifying. I mean, like, it was actually very well done. I thought it was very scary.
Yeah. But, I mean, I just think the biggest thing is just fleshing out. I mean, you think that they could do something like, I almost think of, like, Edgar Wright could make this a good movie. Combine, like, Hot Fuzz with Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I think you would do it.
He could do it.
It's funny you mentioned that scene when her face melts because I thought we were watching a time lapse of Faye Dunaway.
Oh.
Sick burn.
Take
Good
that,
job.
Faye.
Oh, my God.
You've done nothing wrong, but suck it.
Wow.
Rough.
That was rough.
I just imagine
Maybe you're on her wall now.
Maybe, yeah.
You're on
I just
the
imagine
list.
some B-list producers like, science fiction movies make okay money. Horror movies make okay money. Comedies make okay money. What if we made a movie that had everything in it?
And Vincent Price, because, you know, he's not going to last too long.
Yeah.
This was one of the last things he did, right?
It was this and Edward Scissorhands, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, he actually, a lot of people know, he was one of the voices that they picked for Santa Claus in Nightmare Before Christmas. But apparently it's been hidden. Tim Burton won't let it come out. It's surprisingly the internet hasn't found it. But apparently it was just so hard to listen to because he was just so on death's door. That because I think he recorded in 92 and they just said, we have to re-record. Like, you know, we tried doing it with Vince because he was just such a big fan of him, but he was just so, like, you know, near the end at that point.
that's such a wicked bummer.
So I think recording Santa Claus for Nightmare Before Christmas was, even though it never made the final film, was the last thing he did, like, for Hollywood.
Yeah.
I wonder if that had, you know, some kind of reflection in Ed Wood, where, you know, how, like, you know, Ed films that last bit of
Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
he's, like, just got that little bit, and
Yeah.
it's probably the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Guys, we got deep.
We did get deep.
Brought the
God
room down
damn
at
it.
the end.
God damn it. But
Roger Mortis wouldn't stand for this.
no, he wouldn't.
But one thing we haven't really mentioned either, I mean, we mentioned that the movie did come out in, Laine is sneezing a bunch in case you're like, what was that in the background?
She's not dying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's
I
a
just didn't want
multiple
to, like,
sneezer. So.
achoo into the microphone. This is real, guys.
Yeah, if your fetish is multiple sneezes, please DM us on Twitter and we'll send you a sexy video of Elaine sneezing.
Excuse me. We'll set up a payment plan so I can be paid for the sexy sneeze video. This shit isn't free, kids.
Yeah. The cost will be anywhere between $5 and $17 million, somewhere in there. Anyways, But yeah, it was. We haven't mentioned that this film is the 80s incarnate.
It's, oh my God, the clothes,
The mullets,
everything.
the
I mentioned the
attitudes.
curly mullet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 80s attitude? Tell me more.
What?
80s
What
attitude.
makes an 80s attitude? You said the attitudes were also 80s.
Oh,
Please elaborate.
I think it was the flagrant misogyny, the over the top masculinity, the the fact that only women had to wear like the shoulder pads and they only had very select jobs. Guys are reading Penthouse magazines because like back then, when you're a front desk man, you can just read that in front of everybody.
That was in the movie.
Yeah.
The movie, like...
It is a nice little, like, slice of a time capsule.
It is. Important to note here, and I just realized this from looking at IMDb, Shane Black is in this. You know Shane Black, the director, and, I don't know, screenplay writer of Lethal Weapon?
Sorry, I laughed so loud right in the microphone.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just looked at this.
Shit.
He wrote Lethal Weapon, wrote Monster Squad, wrote Lethal Weapon 2, and then was in
Jeez.
Dead Heat as a
you were
patrol
doing them in
officer.
order, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
And did he write Lethal Weapon 3?
I believe they might have replaced him because he got too expensive. No, he did characters.
Okay,
So he wasn't the screenwriter behind that.
Oh, I was going to say...
He did.
We can't blame him for Piscopoian.
No, but we can't blame him for Last Action Hero, though.
Oh, my.
I think Last Action
And Long
Hero...
Kiss Goodnight.
I want to do an episode on Last Action Hero because I think that movie gets undeserving flack.
Fair enough.
I would love to
I mean,
rewatch
honestly,
that for the show.
first of all, I actually love Last Action Hero. I'm not just saying that because I really do. I have an appreciation for it. But yeah, I think that's a good idea that we do that. But
All right.
yeah.
And that movie, Last Action Hero, got eaten alive by Jurassic Park. It came out like either it was 1 week before or 1 week after Jurassic Park, and no one gave a shit because it's like dinosaurs.
That did kick off the dinosaur fetish for the next 10 years.
I can't even remember the name of this movie, but I always found it so hysterical. There was this movie that starred Frankie Muniz and Johnny Knoxville about a couple of greasers in the 50s. Came out 1 week before Spider-Man.
Oh, come on.
And I mean,
No. You can't do that.
It was like a three-legged malnourished puppy was taken by a giant and just fucked to death.
Well, I'm
John,
okay.
Oh, my God.
It's the same thing for the 89 Batman. Only it was fucking what? Ghostbusters 2 and Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade,
That was a hell of a
and
summer.
UHF. So, yeah, it was going through all those.
Yeah, poor Weird Al and UHF. That fell right in one of the biggest.
I
summers
love
of all
UHF.
time.
Well, I don't think that this movie unfairly got the shaft box office wise because, I mean, it was a $5 million estimated budget. And up to now, from 88 to now, it's only made something like $3 million and change.
So you're saying nobody saw this movie?
Yes, I am.
So hey, guys,
It has
help,
a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
help Piscopo pay his gym fees. Go out and see this, and so we can get that money up.
Seriously, though, you guys won't be sorry. It's really fucking amazing. I really enjoyed. So.
Oh, and Joe Piscopo, if you want to be on the show and talk to us about Dead Heat, we would love to have you on. I'm sure you would listen to the show.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
speaking of, get at me on Twitter. I'm LA_Croft.
John, where they can find
all
you.
recommendations.
You can find me at Dead Heat, at Unreal J Wolves.
You can find me at Brian Coddington on Twitter. I also run the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, or you like talking about Dead Heat and zombie cop dramas, you can contact...
Version Dead Ski.
Oh, or that. You can contact us at our website, cinemapsychoshow.com. And make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes. Send us a rate, send us a review. We love getting those. We love reading those. We will read them on the air if you give us a good one or a negative one. Either way.
Just the ones in between.
The ones in between.
The meh.
You know.
We have no time for
We
it.
just want to know how we're doing. So find us on iTunes and catch our new episode available every Sunday.
And never forget, a stranger is just a friend you've never met.
Epicast.